Hi everyone, I'm Pooja Puruswani. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you all are safe and sound. So, I'll be talking about Mozilla's web things and how we can make our things smarter. So, before starting the presentation, let me give you a brief introduction about myself. Um, I'm a tech speaker by choice, a proud Mozillian, and I love to talk about and spread awareness about digital privacy and security concerns. And I'm a social media manager at Countents by profession. We work with cloud technologies and provide scalable cloud solutions. Speaking of things, how many of you are aware about smart things? And how many of you have heard the term smart home? Well, let me just give you a small and simple definition about smart homes and introduce you to the smart things. So, a home which you can communicate to via internet is called a smart home, and all the things, all the devices which are used in the making of a smart home, for example, a bulb, a thermostat, a lamp, a door, or a socket, these are called smart things. Now that we know about smart things, and if you have noticed, I've mentioned the term communication here, that these things, we can communicate to these things via internet. What does communication exactly means? So, in a normal ecosystem, yeah. So in a normal ecosystem, IoT ecosystem, let's say when we turn on our thermostat, we press an on-off button, and all these requests are done via third-party services, and you never know who has the access to this data and what is happening to your data. Well, I won't mind my thermostat turning on when I arrive home, but it better not share this information with anyone else. Well, in short, every command you give to your smart home, or every command or any output they give back or they show, is stored on a cloud. All the events triggered, each and everything is stored on cloud. And keeping such information on cloud can put you sometimes in trouble when someone unknown or a strange person get access to it and plans to misuse it. Well, so how does Mozilla's web things differs from others? Keeping your all the data private and keeping the security intact, Mozilla's web things come to rescue. Well, it's a project focused on privacy, security, and interoperability of things. And Mozilla's Web Things envision an open and decentralized IoT that puts people first. Its mission is to implement Mozilla's value and help drive IoT standards for security and privacy and interoperability. Having said that, now let's see how differently things communicate when it comes to Mozilla's Web Things. Well, everything is secured. Your data here is completely secure. And let me explain you how. So Mozilla has come up with Web of Things, where we have applied lesson learned from the World Wide Web to the Internet of Things to establish a decentralized environment by giving URL to the things on the web to make them linkable and discoverable. By saying that, I mean each thing is identified by a URL that can be dereferenced to obtain a machine interpretable description called the thing description. These things description cover the behavior, the interaction affordances, data schema, security configuration, and protocol bindings of a device. With the Web of Things complements existing IoT ecosystems to reduce the cost and risk for suppliers and consumers of applications that create value by combining multiple devices and information services. Moving forward, as I mentioned, that it is built on the existing web standards, meaning the Web of Things is an application layer on top of the IoT protocols and standards. And it's important to understand that the idea of Web of Things is not to compete with the existing protocols like Zigbee, Z-Wave, Bluetooth, HomeKit, and Weave, and so on, but rather to provide a unified application layer which runs on top of them. It's not about competing with the technologies, but complying with them. Well, now we know that how things communicate in a typical IoT ecosystem and how things communicate in Mozilla's Web Things. Let's see an overall comparison here, and it will help you understand it better. So, a typical vendor uses cloud to store your data, all the performed events, and everything, each and everything from your mobile to your device or the smart thing, each and every communication which is happening over there, it goes through their cloud, and you never know what happens to it. Well, just by having a thought of it, it scares me. It scares me that my data is not secure. My personal data, which I do not want to share with anyone, can be manipulated by we never know who. But when it comes to Mozilla's Web Things, there is a web involved, but there is no cloud involved. Web of Things uses HTTPS tunneling services to host user requests. As soon as an event is triggered by the user over the internet, it tunnels via the web directly to your device without any middleman. And of course, if you want to store your data on the cloud, the Things Gateway model lets the device owner decide what data to pass up to the cloud or what not, which is again is done via auth authentication by default. Moving ahead, let's have a look at the Web Things components. So Web Things is comprised of Things Controller, Gateway, Cloud, and Framework, and the things or devices itself. So the Things Cloud is a collection of services such as support for setup, backups, updates, third-party apps and service integrations, and remote encrypted tunneling of the Web of Things. Now, it is in short, the Things Cloud is nothing but a collection of Mozilla hosted IoT cloud services. Moving to the Things Gateway, it's an open source gateway. It is an open source Web of Things gateway that bridges the existing smart home devices to the web. In short, it works as a bridge between the communication of your things to the web. At the things end, we have our users readable UI to perform action or events with your IoT devices. So this Things Gateway translates these user understandable events to the machine understandable events. And the Things Controller, this could be anything from your smart speaker, tablets, phones, smartphones, your AR, VR headsets, anything with an input out, like any input output device can be a Things Controller. So this controller is communicating with the gate things and cloud in order to perform an action requested by the user. So just to give you an example, if I have to control my bulb using my phone, so the bulb will be a smart device or a thing, and my smartphone or my phone would be the things control. Okay, moving to, okay, yeah. Now, these things are moving to the things or the devices. So these things are the devices such as your smart home thermostat, your garage door opener, your smart toaster, or as I have mentioned, the example of a bulb and a phone. So the bulb can be the devices, smart device or smart thing. So all these things, they run in their own process. Therefore, if one of them crashes, I would like to emphasize here that all these things run in their own process. So if one of them crashes, the whole smart home ecosystem is not compromised. Moving to the security part, which is the foremost important part here. So WebThings uses HTTPS tunneling via Mozilla from cloud to the gateway, so that you can control things over the internet, which uses end-to-end encryption, so that you can so that no one can sniff your data. Well, second thing is, a unique subdomain is assigned via Let's Encrypt TSL certificates, and you can configure your own subdomain firewall setup TSL, so that you don't have to be dependent on when it comes to taking control over what you are sending over the web. So whatever you send over the web, it's under your control. No one else have the right to control your data here. And again, the JSON web tokens are used for authentication when accessing over the tunneling, and auth authentication is used to authorize any third-party apps or services you wish to require. Well, now we have seen examples about smart things and how they work, how they communicate, and what security and privacy concerns are being compromised there, and how Mozilla's WebThing is eliminating all those compromises. Let's see how we can make them even more smarter and secure. So to build your own Web of Things gateway, all you need to do is to get your hands on a Raspberry Pi board or any of the development board which you wish to require. I personally use Raspberry Pi board because I am very comfortable with it, and it comes with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPIO, and many more built-in features. Once you have selected your development board, moving to the second step, if you wish to, use any of the wireless protocols like Zigbee and Z-Wave, you will need USB dongles for that. Once you have all these things, all you need to do is to download the pre-built Raspberry Pi or any of the development board's image from any of the development board's image OS image from the given URL here, and flash it onto your SD card. That's it. You are done. And the next thing you would see is this welcome screen. So once you are done with all these 3 steps, it's time to initiate the process of one-time setup. So now all you have to do is just select your subdomain. You can do it by selecting any other subdomain of your choice. And then when you select a subdomain, it comes with a security. Which means that it comes with a secure certificate from Let's Encrypt by default. Well, once your one-time setup is done, the next thing you need to do is to add devices. You can scan for new devices, and if you wish to add more devices, I'll tell you in my next slide how you can do that. So the devices you might find here would be Zigbee, Z-Wave, Bluetooth, Apple HomeKit or Nest Weave, and so on. You can add these devices to your smart home. And yeah, the Things Gateway add-ons. So these Things Gateway add-ons, these are used to provide you multi-devices support, so that you can add for more devices and protocols by making this ecosystem interoperable. Here's a fact I would like to share with you all. Most of these add-ons are developed by a big open source community, and you can build your own add-on too. Well, this is one of the many ways of which you can contribute to Mozilla's Web Things. Now let's have a look at Things UI. So as you can see on the one side, I have all the devices listed here. On the other side, there is an automation or an ecosystem of a smart home, or a small example of a smart home here, a smart bulb here. So what the example shows you is that you can control the bulb, you can control the color of the bulb, you can control the level of its brightness. All you need to do is you need to drag and drop the devices and create your own automation. Well, yes, it's as simple as it sounds. Yeah. So this Things UI lets you directly monitor and control your home over the web without any intermediary app or software. You can also create and upload a floor plan of your house for ease in process of making a smart home. And you can also integrate voice command. Well, yeah, I just made it more interesting. Well, just to give you a very simple introduction to the rules engine. So the rules engine helps you create your own rules to automate your smart home. When I say rules, I mean if I open the door, the bulb should light up. That could be one rule. So all you need to do is you need to use if this then that style rules to automate those devices. These rules can be handy and useful when you want to create automations for locking doors automatically at a particular time, or switching on or off the lights at a particular time, and so on. Well, here's the example of how you can upload just a floor plan of your home, and it provides an extra ease for in creating your smart home. Yeah, so this is a dimmable light example of how you can control and adjust the brightness of a bulb using Web Things. You can check out many such examples on the given URL there, and if you those are free to use. So if you wish to use, go ahead, feel free to do so. And there are many other examples which you might be interested into, or those would be handy to have. Yeah. So now the question arrives: why Web Things? Well, there are a few more reasons why you should go for Mozilla's Web Things. Yeah. So the major concerns we've found out are money, privacy, and knowledge about the technology. When it comes to money, or so there are no monthly service costs included here. It's just you have to pay an affordable one setup cost, and that's it. The second concern was privacy, which I have already explained in my previous slides, that your data stays with you by default. Not even us, or not, and no one can sniff into your data or hack your data without your permission. It's just you have the entire control of your data. Knowledge about the technology. Well, It's super easy to get started with Mozilla's web thing. Just get done with the one-time setup, add devices, drag and drop all those devices, upload your floor plan, and that's it. Well, yeah, you do not need to master any kind of technology to create your own smart home. Moving forward, coming to the consumer value proposition, affordability, security, and compatibility are the three important factors which makes web things different. Well, it comes with an affordable one-off purchase, and there are no monthly subscription involved, which makes it very affordable for most of us. And then when we speak of security, so it has no doubt that privacy and security are the foremost things that we take care of at Mozilla. And your private data stays in your home by default. Excuse me. Well, buying a smart home equipment currently means choosing among different incompatible yet often closed ecosystem. When a brand fails, consumers are left with incompetent gears. And that thing is also eliminated here, because when I say it's expandable, I mean you can expand it with devices from multiple manufacturers without relying on any specific brand. The Internet of Things is widely recognized to have lots of potential, but its commercial potential is being held back by fragmentations. A sensor on its own has limited value, but there are huge opportunities for open markets of services that combine sensors, actuators, and multiple sources of information. The Web Things seeks to counter the fragmentation of Internet of Things, which makes it easier to create applications without the need to master the disparate variety of IoT technologies and standards. Well, if this presentation sounds interesting to you and you feel that you can contribute, or if you want to contribute to keeping the privacy and security intact, so let me just tell you how you can do that. You can either build your own web of things with the Things framework, or you can create Things Gateway Adapter Things Gateway Adapter add-ons to bridge the existing IoT devices or protocols to the web. Or you can help us develop our Web of Things implementations. Well, thank you for your time, and this is all from my side. So I would love to see your tweets about when it comes to privacy, what matters the most to you? What are your concerns related to privacy? So please go ahead, use this hashtag privacy matters and tag me. My handle is mentioned here. It's Pooja PUJA_Purswani. And if you have any questions, it's the right time to shoot. And if you have any questions after this talk, when you go home, you can come without any hesitation. Feel free to connect me over LinkedIn or Twitter.